Let's talk contracts. So you know that a contract is like a formalized way to develop a relationship and basically create an outline, giving some legal obligations to each party to basically protect everyone involved in whatever you are doing. So that is what a contract is. And so you want to make sure that it's not. Basically, a contract is created to protect your ass and then the person that is doing business with you. At the end of the day, you really don't know. Contracts are like insurance. You think you don't need it until something actually happens. That's when you're like, we should have had this written and we should have really made sure that we had our ducks in a row. I think that's the biggest thing within business. You want to make sure that you're covered even before you do a project, even before you even get on the telephone with someone. Instances in which I needed a contract. So I worked with a designer. They created something for me. We, from the beginning of even before anything was created, we made sure that we had some kind of contract in place. And it basically said that this thing that was created is the work of the individual creating it. I was just buying the art or licensing the use of the art for a temporary period of time. So I've been on both ends of the spectrum. I've purchased art and I've also had people purchase art from me. There's like a gazillion ways for you to really figure out and create like contracts in which you protect yourself and your business and make sure that there's just no things that can happen to end up severing the relationship or even worse, being sued. You do not want to get sued. You don't want to go through litigation. You want to make sure that anything you can think of, whether you're vending, whether it's an employment contract, whether it's a lease agreement, whether it's like insurance, whatever it is, you want to make sure that you're protected and the person that's either doing work for you, doing services for you, they're also protected. Even something simple as like the space you're in. You want to make sure that you have the right contracts, the right insurance. What if someone gets burned while making a t-shirt? Whatever it might be, you want to be sure to protect yourself. I think that a lot of the times with contracts, people always think about just the financial part. They think like we need a contract to cover the money, but that's not true. You really need a contract to decide if you do a collaboration. What if someone else wants to sell the design to another third party? Even when it comes to production, if you are doing business with someone, you want to make sure that there's contracts. You want to make sure that you are stating in there like the time frame, who owns the rights to the work. You want to talk about even with social media, you want to make sure that if you are creating something, do you really have the right to repost it? I've had several different contracts and stipulations that say even if I'm working with a certain company, I can't post about it. I can't talk about it. If you're working with celebrities, you want to understand, things like that as well. You want to make sure that you are clear about the agreement. You want to make sure that you guys are in agreement and that it's fair for both parties. So with that being said, you need a lawyer. You need, whether it's an IP lawyer, business lawyer, you need to make sure that you have a lawyer in place that is helping you to read these things, read these contracts, making sure that the lawyer is, of course, in your favor, making sure that it's not a conflict. Like a company shouldn't have their lawyer working on your behalf. You want to make sure that you have your own lawyer, you have your own person they're on your team, but that it's fair for you. And so if you have a lawyer that's on somebody else's team, that becomes a conflict. So there's a lot of different legal things that I think stepping into not just the t-shirt arena, but the business arena. Even if you travel, let's say you have an event, you're supposed to be there. COVID caused a lot of issues because people did not have in their contract that if an event did not happen or if there was something out of their control that sort of caused, an event to get, shut down, you want to make sure that you have in place that there is a clause that either says you keep your money or, what happens if. That is what contracts are for. Contracts are created because of the unknown. You don't know what's about to happen. You don't know that you're going to walk into the street. You could get hit by a car. Your car could get stolen. Whatever it is, you want to have a contract. You want to make sure that it's fair to you, fair to the business. The business getting sued, or is it the individual getting sued? Is the contract between you as the individual versus the business? So there are just several things that as you are doing business, as you're beginning to dive into contracts, and I think that sometimes we all think that we can understand legal jargon, but to be on the safe side, you want to have a lawyer, an appointed lawyer, actually review your contract. You want to make sure that what the contract is saying is actually in your favor. In addition, with contracts, you want to think about like what templates you could have a lawyer work on for you. So if you need specific NDAs, if you need any like employment agreements, if you want to have certain contractors, you may want to have like any type of standard like work to hire type of thing that you can to the other party that you're working with. Protect yourself and make sure you protect your business. You don't want to get left out and realize when it's too late that you needed insurance before the accident.